Welcome to the Phoenix music scene on the YetiRadio.com. The Yeti Radio, powered by DavidLeeImaging.com.
It's alive!
The Yeti.
All right, let's get to work.
3, 2, 1.
Let's do this.
The Phoenix music scene on the YetiRadio.com.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the YetiRadio.com, live on YouTube and live 365. Yeti Radio is now on 24/7 on the Live 365 app and live365.com.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to put it all out there so that everybody gets to have a blast, to have fun. And tonight we have the amazing Gordon Circle in studio. And can't wait to get this rolling. But we're going to start it off with a little intro song, a song he wrote for Michael Nitro. This is called Belgium, right here on the Yeti Radio.
Well, it's another night in Belgium, searching for the feelings of my yesterday. I can't stop thinking about them, all my friends. It seemed I left so far behind. And the one I love is miles away. Come on, darling, come out. Let's play for a while in Belgium. The music holds a secret. Listen, babe, the secret to my success. If I keep this feeling, oh well, I'm bound to win. I'm certain for
Mr. Gordon Circle with Michael Nitro and Belgium right here on the Yeti Radio. We got Mr. Gordon live in the studio.
How you doing, Mr. Yeti?
Welcome, sir.
I want to say it's a pleasure to be here. Finally, come out here and be in your beautiful studio. And if you guys haven't been here, you got to get out here and check it out. I encourage all local bands to come and interview with you. It's awesome.
Well, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. It's been fun, and I think it's going to be a whole lot more coming up here shortly with some of the ones that are coming in, and got a couple more that I finally got. I thought I was going to run out of interviews and have some time off for the summer, but they're finally starting to respond back. And
yeah.
I know one band's busy, and when we get done with this, we'll get a hold of it. Okay, that works. I'm easy. I do my Monday night show, and other than that, if somebody pops up for an interview.
Well, no, we were originally scheduled for April, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, April, yeah.
And then you got sick.
My wife and I both got the COVID really bad. It was the second time we had it. We've been, vaxxed and everything, but it was just weird. Knocked us down for a couple of weeks, and I'd actually lost my voice.
Oh, wow.
Because of the COVID. It's back now, getting stronger every day. But it's been a challenge playing some of these shows.
Right.
I don't
definitely
embarrass myself, but
no, definitely not.
But I've been practicing a lot and getting ready for. I have a big show this Saturday over at the 44 Sports Bar. It's AnFest 2023,
AnFest.
And I have the distinct pleasure of opening the show at 12 noon on the main stage. So everybody, get your butts out to the 44 this Saturday, and it's an all-day event. It's going to go all day and halfway into the night. So. Like 19 bands.
Crazy, yeah.
Crazy. 2 stages for Ann Hernandez, who's like by the way, happy birthday, Ann. I missed her birthday, I think was yesterday.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Ann. I did not know that.
Yeah. And she's just known in the metal scene around here as like one of the queens of the local
awesome
heavy metal. 16 years she's been doing this. So, yeah,
that's amazing.
Something like that.
Totally amazing.
17 years. So
how long have you been doing music?
Oh, jeez. My whole entire life. I have to be honest. My father, we moved down from Michigan. It was 1965. I was 1 year old. I'm 59 now. Thank God I'm still alive. My father was a vocal music instructor. He's a music major from Michigan State.
Okay.
And so we came out here. My mom and dad bought a house out in South Scottsdale, like Thomas and Hayden area, where I grew up. And I think it was a couple years after we moved into the house, my father broke down and bought a baby grand piano. It's a 1917 Iverson Pond. And when I was about 5 years old, I started taking piano lessons. My father would make me walk like literally a mile to this lady's house for lessons. Back then, when you were 5 years old, you could still walk around. It was safer in South Scottsdale in the late 60s. But that's kind of how I started. My dad would sit me down and he'd go, this is a major chord. La, la, la. This is a minor chord. La, la, la. You hear how the third is dropped a half step? And I was just like, you move your finger this way, or whatever.
Right.
But, yeah, and then, of course, also singing at church was big. My father was the soloist at the Unity of Phoenix, which now is on 15th Street and Greenway area. It's right over there. Beautiful church. My wife and I got married there in 99. But for years and years, it was a long drive out every Sunday for 2 services. My father sang both services, and of course we did the church choir, we did the Christmas choir. And I come from a really big family. I have 7 brothers and sisters all together, and we were all into music, and we always did talent shows at the elementary schools and stuff like that. So it's basically my whole life I've been in some aspect of music. I even did musicals when I was a kid. At Phoenix Little Theater, we did The Music Man, and it was my younger sister Maria, and I and my mom and dad were all in the play. So we had rehearsals and we had the big shows, and I was just in the chorus, one of the kids in the chorus, but I had to put on my grease paint every day and get out on the stage. But
it sounds awesome.
Yeah, but for me, it was like my parents, my dad especially, wanted to do show business, and he got all of us kids interested in it. My sister and I especially. But when I was, I think, 6 or 7, I started taking acting lessons. Yeah, I must have been 6 years old with a company called Bobby Ball Academy, which is no longer here in Phoenix. It's in L.A. It's called Ball Talent now.
Okay.
And but I have a lifetime
Note
contract.
to self.
Yeah, Ball Talent. And when I was in first grade, I got an audition for a commercial for Cudahy Bar S hot dogs. It's a regional commercial. It wasn't a national commercial, but they had a promo where you take like the UPC symbol of like 4 or 5 packages of hot dogs. I think it was 3 actually, and you send it off to Cudahy, and they send you back a T-shirt. It says "Hot Dog Power." It has a. I should have brought it. It has a, I actually have one of them. My father saved for me. Thank you, Dad.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was hot dog power, T-shirt power. Power to the kids. And then I'd take a bite of a hot dog, and we filmed out in McCormick Ranch when it was still horses and stuff, you know. It was just a long time ago. Fun stuff. And that was my very first commercial, and I remember the first time I saw it was before school one day, and I laughed so goddamn hard. I thought it was the funniest fucking shit. I really did. And I was just, wow, I'm on a commercial, you know. So my friends would always give me shit. Hot dog power, you know, T-shirt power. But yeah, that was kind of like the start of my show business career. And you know, music has been just a great avenue, you know, for the last 30 years for me. But I also have a lot of history before I started making music and performing and writing songs and recording and such, and including a few movies that I've done. And I've been very fortunate to do radio work here in Phoenix as a child.
Awesome.
I worked with, you know, a lot of big people. Most of you probably heard of Pat McMahon. You know, Gerald from Wallace and Ladmore's show. Have you been here that long? But I worked with him for Lennar Homes. Enjoy the Lennar lifestyle with Lennar Homes, huh, Timmy?
Lennar's been around that long.
And I worked with the late, great Bill Haywood from KOY and Frank Sprague and a lot of radio guys. And a lot of fun.
See, that's what makes me nervous when I do interviews, finding out you used to do this.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
I'm like, oh shit, now I got to step up.
I actually, my younger sister Marie and I actually did 9 Circle K radio spots.
Oh, awesome.
Once out at, I think it was Valley Audio Recorders on 7th Avenue. I don't know if it's still there, but long time ago. But it was really fun. I did a lot of auditions for movies. A lot of them I never got, and a couple of them I did. And so it was always show business from not only, you know, me, but my entire family. You know, my brother was a vocal performance major, and he went to AMDA in New York City, the American Music Dramatic Arts Academy.
Wow.
He's Screen Actors and Actors Equity and AFTRA and all these unions. But he did a lot of summer stock theater. My little sister Holly is a great talent. She has a couple albums out already in Minnesota. She's also music. Her and her husband Jim are music directors at the church. They play every Sunday along with my nephew, who gets up and sings with them too. And but yeah, we've been very blessed, very, very blessed.
Definitely all in the family.
Yeah. And then, you know, I was in marching band in elementary school. I played baritone horn. You know, it's like a small marching tuba.
Right.
And I did that. I was like first chair honor band and stuff because my dad would make me practice. You know, you're gonna get out there and you're gonna play your horn, blah blah blah. So got to high school and they put me in a marching band, but it was like beginner marching band. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be in the beginning marching band. I want to be out on the field. I'm going to be in the marching band. So I kind of hung up the baritone horn, hung up the brass, if you will, and I got picked up a 6-string.
Okay.
And took me a while to learn how to play it. Took a few lessons, but mostly It was just my musical background, be able to listen and play something, and that's kind of how I did it. Now, another great guitar player named George Bryan, who's in a local guy here. He's been in countless bands over the years. He was one of my guitar instructors when I was, still in high school, and then started playing with some friends in the neighborhood. And it's really weird because the friends I played with in the neighborhood, they all became like big time rockers. Like, for instance, Sacred Reich, those guys, like Jason Rainey. And we used to go down to the elementary school on a Saturday night and find a plug. And we had a power strip and a plug, and we'd drag our drums down there and our amps, and we'd just sit there and just rock out at the high school when nobody was there, outdoors. And that was always crazy. We played a lot of parties and would keg parties. And back then I was mostly singing.
Well, some of us have been talking that we need to bring back the keggers.
I agree. There's nothing now that we're old enough that we don't have to worry. And some people have a lot of big property out there, and you know who you are, so we can set up a stage and do it right. And
$5 solo cups and drink your beer. We ain't selling beer; we're selling cups.
Selling cups.
You don't need an alcohol license for that.
But I would love to do that, and especially during COVID, I thought it was going to be a big. New kind of game changer, going back to keg parties and private stuff, because all the bars had closed down. It was like scary time. A lot of shows canceled. But yeah. And then when I was about 17 or 18, I formed a band with some friends of mine. And we started doing like Judas Priest covers and some older stuff, nothing. This is like before Metallica and before the big thrash scene hit. So I'm saying early 80s, maybe late 70s, early 80s. But we were the only ones that were doing like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, Motley Crue, and this type. And not even Motley Crue. I don't even think they were out yet. No. Deep Purple.
No, if you were 17, 18, no, they weren't out yet.
No,
because you got me by about 5 years, and
yeah.
So
it's been a long road.
Been a fun road.
Yeah, it's been a great
road. Some of you a whole lot more fun than me, and I'm like, damn, I wish I wasn't in a hick town growing up and didn't have access to concerts. Due to, I guess you call them mental illnesses, in when we were little, I can't focus enough to learn.
That's how I am now. Why did I walk in here again? Where am I?
Yeah, but I bet you what, I can bring up a song and you can sing every lyric to that song.
Yes, I'm very good at that. As a matter of fact, my wife and I enjoy watching Name That Tune and Don't Forget the Lyrics and all those kind of shows.
Right. I don't know why I walked in the room, but that's...
That's right. So then... after a while, I got in another band, and we were called Legion. And after Legion, I was in another band called Sanctuary, not the Sanctuary from LA, but just a local band here in town. And we did a few clubs, got out and played a few times. There was a band from LA called Valhalla, or not LA, but back east, called Valhalla. And we did a show with Gloria Cabrera back before she was Max's wife. She had a club called The Bootlegger, and I don't know if anybody remembers The Bootlegger. It's like 32nd and Thunderbird or something, and it's long gone, but she would bring us in for the all ages Sunday Metal Fest, where we'd all get together and bang our heads with Flotsam and Jetsam and of course Sacred Reich and a lot of bands that aren't even around anymore. Flotsam, of course, is still around, and they're dear friends of mine. I went to school with Eric, and he was in my drama class at Coronado High School back in the 80s. We're about the same age. I think he's a little bit younger than me, maybe a couple of years. But what a voice. Guys,
that's amazing. Both of them, Sacred Reich. I think Sacred Reich's...
But while I was in this band, Sanctuary, we did a show, and it was in Chandler in a basement, and we brought in these speakers called Stanley Screamers. I don't know if you ever heard of them. they're from like a movie theater, like from behind the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So huge. I mean, we took out the guy's wall while we were taking him down the stairs, and we set up this huge PA, and it was, or maybe it was Legion. I can't. It was Legion. It was either my band Legion or my band Sanctuary. I can't remember. And we played with Sacred Reich and Flotsam Jetsam when Jason was still in the band, and so, you know, it was like I knew these guys, you know.
That's awesome.
And I grew up with them, playing with them. Now they're all touring the world or retired or, you know, still at it. Some of them just hung it all up completely and now doing construction or whatever. But I've always wanted to be in show business. And I don't care what aspect of it. Right now I'm to the point where I almost want to start producing and promoting. But I don't know if that's quite what I want to do, you know. I've still got a lot of life left in me. I still want to go back in the studio and finish some songs and see if I can do something else. I want to get a band together is what I want to do. But it's been a while.
I'll be there.
So for a few, thank you. So for a few years, I really didn't do much. Worked a lot of jobs and.
Look, I've seen you get up on stage and you do it by yourself.
Yeah.
God forbid you get to pick people to play with you and get on stage and put something together. I will be there.
So lucky. I just asked someone, you know, hey, do you want to get on stage and do a song? And they're like, yeah, let's, you know, if you want to get together, we'll go rehearse it first. And I'm like, sure, you know, whatever. For instance, Brian Mogul, you know,
right.
Me and him do a lot of stuff on stage. And he just kind of follows me, or I'll follow him. I've recently been doing a tribute to the late, great Gordon Lightfoot, which has been, people are just excited about. Are you going to do a record of the Edmund Fitzgerald, Gordon, or, you know, whatever the song is I'm doing that day? And Brian Mogul helped me out a lot with that one, with the tracks and getting it ready to go.
Awesome.
Lots of fun.
Well, he's up there.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Guaranteed he's up there.
So I'll say from the mid '80s till early '90s, I didn't really do much as far as show business. I did a couple of local commercials. I was in a commercial with Al McCoy for Bank One of Arizona, which is, I actually got to play a Phoenix Sun.
Okay.
Okay, so Al McCoy, I don't know if you ever met him, but he's a kind of a shorter guy.
Okay.
So they had us standing on, it was milk crates and a board, dressed in Suns uniforms behind him with our heads cut out, like right here.
Uh-huh.
So you couldn't really see my face or anything.
Right.
But they're like, Al McCoy here with the Phoenix Suns for Bank One of Arizona. And we all had these bank cards, right? And we'd like stick them right around his head. So at the end of the commercial, you see there's all these Phoenix Suns with these bank cards around his head. But there's a part in the commercial where he's talking, and I reached down and I scratched my balls. And I swear to God, it made it onto TV, into the commercial.
Oh,
and I was
wow.
like, you gotta kid me, man. They go, hey, Gordon, which one's you? I said, I'm the one scratching my balls over there. You know? That's a hand-to-God true story. And by the way, everything I'm telling you today is 100% true. I have nothing to lie to you about, ever.
I would never question the fact, sir.
No. So graduated high school. Was going to go straight to college, but my father was like, you got to go out and get a job, son. You know, so he would like circle different ads in the paper in red pen. Here, Gordon, try this one. So I came across this one. It was for Kelly Girls, and I didn't know it was the temporary Kelly Girls services. So I went and applied. And what it was Club Med, their executive office in North Scottsdale.
Okay.
And I started working documents, which is sending out people all their travel information and such. And they wanted to send me, and if you don't know what Club Med is the big vacation company. They have vacation resorts all over the world. And so they wanted to send me on what they call a FAM trip, familiarization trip. And I was looking, and I came across some documents I was going to send out, and it was for David Lee Roth. This is 1982, Women and Children First. And I was like, what, he's going to Tahiti, huh? And I was like, wow. I didn't think twice about it. And then the next week, my boss came in and goes, okay, we're going to send you on a fam trip. Where do you want to go? And I said, I want to go to Tahiti. And I remember the dates. It was like November 15th or something. And so they sent me.
Really?
Yeah. And I got to stay on the island of Moorea in the French Polynesia. Well, flew in from LA to Papeete, and then took a junket over the water, and drunk French pilot guy. I said, no problem. I was fucking like, what the fuck am I getting myself into? way out in the middle of this tropical jungle, beautiful place, you know. I was at the resort, and 2 huts behind me was David Lee Roth and his bodyguard, Ed Anderson, who was the head of security for Van Halen at the time. And I seen him at the line at the buffet, and I was like, hey, Dave, man, how about a picture? And so I got a picture of me and him. I don't have it anymore, but I had a nice 8x10 picture of me and David Lee Roth at the Club Med. And I actually performed for him. I did Behind Blue Eyes by The Who on the talent night there. Right. He's digging it, so... I can honestly say I got to go party with David Lee Roth in Tahiti.
Wow!
For Club Med.
Talking about picking your vacation.
Yeah, I was very, 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 very lucky.
Well, Club Med. I deployed to Haiti. While I was in the military.
Dominican Republic, right there.
Yeah, right next to Dom Rep, and there's a Club Med in Haiti.
Oh, it's in Haiti.
Yeah, and we had a political visitor. Secretary of State came down, and we secured the area at Club Med.
Oh, nice.
And they set everything up down there for that. But yeah, there's a Club Med in Haiti. So
yeah, they're all over the place. They're all over the world. But I started working for Motorola for the government. Got my government clearance to do mil-spec soldering, and I just wasn't into it. I wanted to make music. I wanted to be in a band again and do things. And I just kind of blew it off for the longest time. I picked up a bass, started playing bass. I got pretty good at bass. Not as good as I was at guitar, but then fast forward to the 90s, early 90s, I ended up sharing a house with a gal out in Scottsdale and her boyfriend and another guy in these 2 huge Shar-Peis. Not Shar-Peis. Yeah, Shar-Peis. The big furry, the ones with the big skin all over. And she said, hey, I want you to come with me to New York City. And you ever been there? I said, no, I've never been there. So we got a drive-away car, a Dodge Stealth. We drove to first time we flew there, and we stayed for like a couple of weeks or something, then came back. And then she says, well, you got to come meet my family in Belgium, in Liège, Belgium. So that's when we got the drive-away car, and we drove to New York, and we flew out of New York. She went first, and I went to Milwaukee to help my brother for another month. A month, he worked at an airport out there, and saved up some more money. And by the time I got to Belgium, I was exhausted. It'd been like, it seemed like it took forever to get there. And I had a 3-month return on the flight, and I was staying at her aunt and uncle's house with her. She took me all around, took me to the different sites and different cities. It's a small country, you know. And so then she says, it's time for you to go back to the United States. And I was like, I don't want to go back, you know. So she gave me a guitar very similar to this one. And I hitchhiked from Liège up to Brussels. Wow. No money, hardly any money. Just my suitcase and a guitar. And I got a job working at a youth hostel, Youth Hebben Bruegel, which is the Flemish Dutch in Brussels there. Everything's French or Dutch, you know, so I was 7 days a week cooking for the kids. Nice. and the campers and the travelers. And at night I would take the guitar down to the La Grande Place, which is a big square in Brussels, and I would sing every night. I made more money doing that, just busking in the streets, than I was working at the youth hostel. But they gave me 3 hot in a cot, so the showers was really hot, so it kind of looked out there. Did that for about 7 months.
Came with benefits.
Yeah, it did. A lot of pretty girls too, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah, no.
But and excuse me, I decided, I better start thinking about going back to the United States. My parents were like, come back. They'd sold the house in Scottsdale while I was there, and they'd moved to Vegas. So I came back. I stayed with my brother in New York for a couple weeks, and came back to Phoenix. Got a call. Hey, Gordon, it's Michael Nitro. How are you? And I said, good. How are you? And he goes, let's put a band together. And I thought he was kidding, because he's already had albums out. He's already been, doing these big shows and concerts. And I was like, yeah, okay. So a band called Lawless Rocks, singer named Francis Leon. I don't know if you ever met him. John goes by Johnny Leon, Francis Leon. Michael Nitro, Francis Leon, and myself, and a drummer named Kenny put together a band called the Dirty Pearls. And that was in 95, early 96 maybe. No, it must have been 95. Well, things didn't work out, and so we switched the name back to Michael Nitro, and Michael started singing, and I was on bass, and we just clicked. And we just started doing outrageous, crazy stuff. Like I get a phone call, "Hey Gordon, what are you doing? You want to go play the Super Bowl?" I said, "What are you talking about? Play the Super Bowl?" This is in '96. When
You're yanking my chain.
Yeah, Dallas played Pittsburgh Steelers. He goes, no. He goes, "This is for real. It's the night before the Super Bowl, downtown Tempe. They're going to put a big fence all around downtown Tempe, and they're going to have a big party, 70,000 people, and we're going to play with CCR and John Cade Steppenwolf." I said, "You're kidding? You're going to play with Steppenwolf?" Well, I was excited to say the least.
I was going to say, you can't say no to that.
That wasn't even the first big show that Michael was able to line up. He was good friends with everybody at Evening Star Productions, Danny Salisco, and they go way back. But the first show I played with them was at a place called Minder Binder's Barn in Tempe, and we had to haul all this gear up this tiny little staircase to this little tiny room. And the second show I played with Michael Nitro was opening up for Tesla at Mesa Amphitheater, which I was scared to death. But after the first song, I was like, "Oh man, I like this," and that's what I decided. This is what I want to do. I want to play big shows. And boy, Michael made it happen. I didn't have a dime to my name. I would take this old beat up, had a Fender Jazz Squire bass. I didn't have a case. And I would jump on the bus on McDowell and Hayden and take it all the way to Nitro's house, which was like 40th Street and Bell Road area, you know. And I did that every night, and then next thing you know, something happened. We started getting all these shows, like one right after the other. It was like, "You're kidding me." And then it was like, "You want to play the Super Bowl?" And I was like, "Okay, let's play the Super Bowl." So we played the Super Bowl. And then it was, "Hey, you want to play with REO Speedwagon at Celebrity Theater?" Or, I said, "Sure." And we played that show. "You want to play with Grand Funk Railroad?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So Michael has been a big help in getting me where I'm at today. And God bless him, he's great. He deserves all the praise in the world. He's a hell of a musician, great father. But yeah, he kind of got me on the big stage, and we took off from there. We started playing just all kinds of weird stuff. We drove up to Camp Verde, and Sticks canceled. "You want to go up to Camp Verde this weekend?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So, but just very fortunate to play a lot of bigger shows back in the day. Opened up for Ronnie James Dio and Great White over at the Electric Ballroom in Tempe.
God.
Weird stuff like that. Weird. And I just was so blessed. I mean, we didn't make any money. We were just, local support. I think we made $50 to open up for REO or something. Crazy stuff.
If I may.
Yes, sir.
When I graduated high school, I was supposed to come to Phoenix.
Yeah.
I was supposed to come out here to go to school. And it was all done. And I got cold feet. Cost my parents $200 because of the application fee, because it was for DeVry. Because I was big into computers when I was in high school. And got cold feet and said, "Screw it." Just came back from the mall one day, said, "I'm going into the Army." And they're like, "Okay." And 20 years, I end up back in the Valley after not being here 20 years prior.
So
I'm
you
like,
were
I'm supposed to be here
20 years?
No. There's a whole lot that happened in those 20 years, but just the fact that I ended up here anyway. And,
right, after...
and missing out on a lot of what you've said that's happened here. I'm still learning, and I'm trying to learn as much as I can, as fast as I can, and I'm learning names and who's who and where, and
me too. I'm still learning every day. Every day there's somebody that, "Hey, don't you know so-and-so?" I'm like, "No." you don't know him? I'm like, no, but you're Gordon. You should know everybody. I'm like, yeah, you know.
Well, and for
I
as
do drink a little, so yeah.
well as for as little as I am, not in size, but as far as what I do, that the first time somebody came up to me that knew who I was blew my mind. I was just like, okay.
You know who I am, right on.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It's weird every now and then someone will be like, "You're Gordon Circle. Can I get your autograph?" type deal. And we were playing a show. There was a clubhouse for bikers on Cave Creek Road. Was it called the Clubhouse? I think.
Fan club.
What?
Fan club.
Fan club. It was called Fan Club. So we get a call. Michael's like, okay, I booked this. We're playing the Hells Angels on Halloween. I said, okay, what are we playing? We're playing at the Fan Club. I said, what is that, like their private country club? No, it's some place over here on Cave Creek Road. So we went there, and there was like a bazillion Hells Angels, the Oakland chapter, L.A., California, and then all the Arizona.
The whole Southwest.
Yes. And I walk in, and there's Sonny Barger himself. You know, and his wife, you know, God rest his soul. And so we played that show, and I think I went next door to a Circle K to, you know, get a soda or grab a pack of smokes or something. I went to the bathroom, took a leak, and this guy standing next to me is like, "Hey, didn't I see you on stage the other day? Yeah, you're in that band. Can I get your autograph?" I'm like, taking a leak. I asked him for my autograph. But that's very far and few between. Now it's usually the cop wants me to sign the ticket. That's,
yeah.
You know, I haven't had a ticket in 12 years. So.
Take a picture of that. Now I got an autograph.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's been pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
And
I guess there's stranger places to get asked for your autograph.
Yeah, there is. I imagine. I wouldn't want to get my autograph in prison or anywhere. No, nothing like that. But yeah, then Michael's wife Jennifer was pregnant. We decided to take a break, and we never got back together. And I think I played 1 or 2 shows with him since then. But I just loved him. He's a great guy.
Isn't he playing with Whiskey Dogs now?
Whiskey Dogs, yes, that's one of the bands that he's been working with. And Jimmy Milton, Jimmy D, was the drummer. I don't know what's going on with them now. I haven't talked to him lately. But it's just amazing. It's like the kids in my neighborhood that I used to play with, you know, like the guys from Flotsam and Jetsam and Sacred Reich. And they're still happening. They're still making it happen, you know. A lot of people just kind of give up. They get like to a point, they're like, well, we're not going to make it. Then they just go back to their day job. And I almost did that for a while. And people are like, Gordon, you need to go and just play your guitar. And I said, what am I just going to go up on stage and play my guitar? Come on.
Why the hell not?
And that's what I did. And people were like, hey, can you come and play your guitar over here? Hey, can you come play your guitar over? And it's just been amazing. Now, for from 2010 to 2017, I was living in Las Vegas. And I did play a couple of shows in Vegas. I slutted myself out once for a corporate gig for an eyeglass company. My good friend David Babbitt the 7th hooked me up with that one. But I got to play at the Flamingo Hotel in front of 7,000 people or 5,000 people out back in the gardens.
Nice.
It was really cool. They had like this dome set up. It looked like a bouncy house or something. It had revolving doors on both sides like this, and then people would filter through and catch the act. But everybody that played was either an eye doctor or had something to do with making eyeglasses.
Okay.
And so they said that I was a tech, so they slid me under the. But I got paid for that gig, and then I did a couple of open mics. Played at the Sand Dollar, which is a blues bar down there off the Strip. Just really fun. And then. My parents both passed, and my wife and I decided that we were going to stay in Vegas. And that was 2013, so we toughed it out for 4 years, and we were like, you know what, let's go back to Phoenix. Because during those years, between 2010 and 2017, I was working with Scott Rowe, Red Rum, and he would say, "Hey, Gordon, come down. I want you to play the show," or whatever. And I would drive, 350 miles from Vegas to come play a 20-minute set, for Sky, because that's just the way I roll, And
That everybody needs friends like that.
Yeah, I did that like three or four times at least, and I just was like, you know what? And my wife's family's down here, and so let's just move back. So I didn't want to, but we ended up back here in Phoenix. And I'll tell you, I love it. I have gotten more work in the last 6 years than I ever did trying to make it up in Vegas, because it's just so much competition.
Vegas is tough, yes.
So much show business, and everybody's in the musicians union, and you got to get this, and you got to get vetted, and you got to do. I was just like,
Vegas is all about unions.
Just to play cover tunes at the bar at 3 a.m. Come on, man. Yeah, you got to do this, and I was like, well, but yeah. So came back here and got a job, been working, and went to the studio during COVID and kicked out a song that I wrote. When I first met my wife, I was playing at a bar in Apache Junction, and I seen this tall girl in the back, and I was like, "Ooh, who's she? How'd she get in here?" I thought she was like 18 or 19, And I went and talked to her after the show, and we just kind of collected. For the last 23 years, we got married in '99. Last 23 years we've been together, and so I wrote a song about her, my girl from Apache Junction, and it's just kind of a sweet little love song. And I used to play it on my guitar and bang it out at solo gigs. And I said, you know what, something's going on. I got all this COVID money because they're sending me $600 a week, to stay home, whatever. So I'd saved up some money, and I said, you know what, I'm going to call some people and see if they want to come in the studio and help me out with this song. And so the first person I called, I don't even know how I got in touch with him, was Christian Lee Vasquez from Sectus, who I just love. He's such a good guitar player, just amazing with the arpeggios and all the scales, and beautiful family, beautiful band, great guys. And he said, yes, of course, anytime you want me to the studio, absolutely. And I said, okay, great. And I penciled him in. And I talked to Brian Mogul, who I'd been doing some stuff with, and he said, yeah, sure, all right, sure. And a good friend, John Gaw, who was the original drummer for Oddity Paradox, John Gaw. And we went to a little studio right around the corner from where I live now, on 35th and Cactus, 35th Avenue and Cactus, called Tall Cat Recording.
Okay.
And the guy's name is Tom. He's the engineer there, and he hooked us up. We went in on a Sunday. We didn't even rehearse it. I just played the melody and banged it out. I played bass, the guitar, and did the drums, and then the other guitar players came in, and then we did the vocals and wrapped it up. I was like, what am I going to do next? I was like, I like this. I go back to the studio, but I'm actually going to be going back. I've actually asked George Harn to come in and do a solo, as well as some other players, and everybody's just been so receptive. They're like, sure, Gordon, sure, man, we'll do that.
One of the things as a newcomer to the scene and learning as much as I can, one of the things I've noticed is that when somebody needs help or needs somebody, they're always there.
I've been asked plenty of times, hey, Gordon, I know it's last minute, but can you come down to Starlight and open the show, and I'm like, yeah, sure, if it's enough time for me to at least take a shower and get dressed, I don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't mind. I've had people like I said, at the last minute, and a lot of other stuff too. Like they wanted me to go to Tucson, or they want me to go here or there and come up to Prescott. Or I've never played there, but I'd sure like to someday. It's on my bucket list.
I definitely want to go spend. I'm sad that the Den closed because I wanted to get up there, and we just try to juggle it because my wife's got family in Prescott Valley.
Oh, wow.
Right around the corner. So
I got a sister-in-law up there and a niece.
Cool.
Yeah, and
I want to go check it out up there too. That way, the Yeti's been there.
Sure, let's do it. Let's put a show together. Go to Birdcage or something.
I'm not a booker. Ask Brian. I don't take rejection well. But yeah, it's definitely someplace I want to go check out and see what's up there. I want to go all over the place, but having the little ones ties everything down.
Sure.
So hopefully soon.
Yeah, someday.
Yeah,
When we hit the lottery.
hey, that's what I can do. You get into the studio and I can come in and shoot the video, and we just put stuff
There
together.
you go. I've already got a few songs. I've got about maybe 30, 40 originals off and on that I only play a handful of them out now, but I've got like all kinds of songs that I think, when I listen to my music in my head, I can hear what kind of guitar I want, where I want the keyboards, and I can kind of like mix it in my head. But it's different when you're just on stage with just a guitar to try to give the big picture, you know what I'm saying? So we went into the studio, we did this song, and you got it here, right?
Yes.
And it's called Apache Junction, and we recorded it, released it, I put it up on DistroKid and got it out on some platforms, and had some really good response for it. But yeah, it's one of the songs that Brian Mogul plays with me now. When we play it out, he does the guitar. But it was amazing because I got to take it from how I heard it in my mind and make it really happen the way I wanted to.
It's not wanting to play. I don't know why. I can do it over here.
Yeah. Been very fortunate. So you I'll play it on the acoustic the way I play it, like, when I used to practice it at home. It was just real simple, like just a... just like that. And that's kind of how the song starts, but then the band jumps in, so...
Absolutely.
Let's take a listen.
All right, here we go with Mr. Gordon Circle and Apache Junction right here on the YetiRadio.com.
Every day when I'm raising my weary head, oh, it's so nice to have you lying next to me, girl. Every night when we turn out the light, yeah, I think the stars bust my girl from the junction.
Oh, Yeti did it again. Damn it. Gotta turn the speaker down. Well, we have Mr. Gordon Circle and the girl from Apache Junction.
Yeah, Lynn's here.
Only
She's
lived
kind
in
of
4 years.
she's kind of in the background right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a really weird last few years for us, you know. But as far as music, it's just been great. Everybody's been very supportive and stuff. You know, we have some health issues that we've been dealing with, and just trying to get over things, taking things one day at a time for now. Between broken bones and cancer and eyeball surgery, I had to have surgery on my eyeball, and just one thing after another, it seemed like, for the longest time. So we're getting back on track and just banging it out, and eventually I will be back in the studio, hopefully sooner than later. I've got some free studio time coming from like 3 different outfits that want to record me. And,
awesome.
Right. So it's just a matter of time. In the meantime, I've got this show coming up Saturday, and on July 1st, I'll be playing the Night of the Crystal Skulls, which is Brian Mogul and Onk Alien putting together a big show, and that's at the Blues. And that'll be a great show. And more keep coming in. I'm trying to put some shows together at September, October time.
Okay.
Like some monster shows, like all-day event type thing.
Yeah, those are the ones that are tough.
Yeah,
especially when we get older.
Well, yeah. I go on stage at noon, but I don't think I'll be there at 2 in the morning. You know,
not unless I go out in the parking lot and take a nap.
Yeah, or go home. I live right up the street from there.
Okay, yeah.
Fortunately, I live next to, between the Blues, 44, Starlight.
Yeah,
but I don't mind driving out to club or pub rock in Scottsdale, or I've even played at the Rooms years ago. We played a Christmas benefit out there, Too Broke for Pudding, with Scott Rowe. Scott Rowe was one of the first guys that ever really openly just put me on a flyer and promoted me and said, hey, come on down and do this show now, you know. So hats off to you, Scotty.
Absolutely.
And much success on your band. I can't wait to hear I guess they're getting keyboard players.
Yeah, and a keyboard player, and they were here doing an interview and had a great time with them. That was awesome.
Yeah. And there's still a lot of friends of mine that I've known since the 80s or so that are still involved. For instance, Ray Kuhn.
Right.
From
Dawn of the Rising.
Dawn of the Rising. Yeah. Good friend of mine. I've known him forever, it seems like. And, you know, he actually lives in my apartment complex now, or kind of stays there with his kids, and he's got a few places he hangs. But it's always a pleasure to play with him. And Jim Icky Stain, Grub out there with Oddity. Those guys have been very supportive. And, of course, Hector and everybody in Addicted. Those solid. Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime I ask them to do anything, they're like, yep, I'll be there. You know, I put together a birthday I've had my birthday shows a few years and done other shows. And
I got to attend your last one.
Yeah. Was it fun? Did you have a good time?
Absolutely. You probably don't remember me being there, but that's okay.
I remember very little. I just remember a few things. Like I said, so like now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to slip a little bit, but yeah, very, very, very happy. And what else was I going to talk about, Lenny? Remember?
What movies have you been in?
Well, let's see. I was in a movie called Evidence of Power, which was a Columbia. I think it was it Columbia Pictures. It was 1979. We filmed it in Prescott. It was a thriller, and it was about demonic possessions up in the hills. But the weird thing was, I played the kid of the farmer who got crushed by the tractor because for some reason the tractor flipped and killed him. And I had to talk to the sheriff, and I had to talk to this other guy. Well, the sheriff was none other than the skipper from Gilligan's Island, Alan Hale Jr. And
that had to be fun.
Yeah, the other guy was Gordon Jump from WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, Lord.
So we filmed up there in Prescott it was a one-day shoot. I did the audition, and I got a call back. My parents were both teachers at the time, so my grandparents, God rest their souls, they drove me up there to Filmed in Prescott Valley, actually.
Oh, awesome.
And I have never seen the movie. I found copies of it on International Movie Database, but I can't seem to get it to come on so I can see it, you know. And there's copies for sale, but they're like in Europe and stuff. It was a total B movie, I guess.
Right.
But then the other one was The Fire in the Sky, which is about a comet that hits Phoenix, and that was Columbia Pictures Television. That was like, you know, when I got my SAG card and everything, I was at a speaking role, and I worked on set with the great Merlin Olsen, you know, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, the florist guy, but he was also, he played for the Rams. You know, that's how I remember his name. He was lineman for the Los Angeles Rams back in the day. But they got the movie out. I've seen this movie, but what they did is they made a book about it, and I know they made the book, A Fire in the Sky. And the movie came out in like 78 or 79, something like that. This book, I don't know when it came, but it tells the whole story. And there's pictures in here that they took from the set. And I played a Cub Scout, and we were out on a scout when the comet comes to hit Phoenix. We had to like dig trenches and bury ourselves underground. And we were actually underneath these tarps at 2 a.m. filming north of Carefree, out in the middle of this desert. Columbia Pictures had some land out there, but the call was 6 a.m. We'd get in the motorhome and drive out there, and then come home real late. Did that for a week, so my check was very nice. But some of the pictures, I don't know if you can see that, but that's me, one of the Boy Scouts in there. I don't know if you can see it.
That one right there in the
Yeah,
middle.
that's me in the middle. That's me. But it's really cool that I'm actually, you know, in the book of the movie, that one of the movies.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah, very, very, very.
So you've done commercials, you've done TV, you've done radio, you've done music.
I did the Vegas connection with the. What? Say it, honey.
What about your trip to the Playboy?
Oh yes, Playboy Mansion.
A lot of people freak out about this story. This is a good story. Okay, so growing up, I had a paper route in South Scottsdale. Up at 5 a.m. delivering Arizona Republic every morning. And one day we got done with the paper route, went to there was a little strip mall, Papago Plaza in Scottsdale and McDowell. And they had a record store. I can't remember the name of the record store. I want to say Azia or or something. I can't remember the name of it. But we went in, and they had this big display about the American Music Awards. You can win a trip to the American Music Awards down in Hollywood and all this. And so my friend and I both, filled out a ticket and dropped it in the box there. And one morning I was listening to Kriz Radio, KRIZ. It was a Saturday morning. I'll never forget. And back then they had a Playboy club in Phoenix with bunnies and everything. So a couple of the Playboy bunnies were there, and they were drawing names. The grand prize was a $2,000 Marantz custom stereo, and that's really the reason I applied or put my ticket in the raffle. Well, they drew that, and they said, I said, fuck. I didn't win the stereo. I was listening to the radio, and they said, okay, this is for the super grand prize, a trip to the American Music Awards, a tour of the Playboy Mansion and Universal Studios and all this. Gordon Circle? And I freaked out because I was only 12,
Right.
12 or 13. I was like, Mom, you're not gonna believe this, you're not gonna believe this, you're not gonna believe this. She's like, what is this? I said, I won. And I didn't hear anything about it for like 3 months, and I got a letter in the mail, and they said I won a guest wardrobe, all kinds of stuff, man.
A 12-year-old at the Playboy Mansion.
I got
Good
to go.
God.
They said I had to bring my dad. So my dad and I flew out there. We stayed in a hotel in Brentwood.
No moms allowed.
I don't want to bring mom to the Playboy Mansion. I got to, and Hugh Hefner was there, but he was upstairs sleeping. We took limos. Everything was limo everywhere.
Right.
To Universal Studios for a day, limousine to dinner, limousine to really nice to get the tuxedo fitted and everything for the show, because I was going to the American Music Awards.
Wow.
I was like, wow, this is gonna be great. So we toured the mansion, and we had breakfast there. And I remember this gal came down. It was Miss September 1979. And she sat next to me. And I was like, woohoo! Sitting next to a playmate. Or yeah, for a little kid, I mean, a younger guy like me, that was really something. And then the day before the American Music Awards, and like I said, I was already fitted for the tux. So my dad had his tux. We were ready to go. I got a call. My agent, Bobby Ball, talent, said, "Oh, Gordon got the part in Fire in the Sky. We need him to start filming Monday. He has to come home now." So I had to leave L.A., leave my dad there. He got to hang out with the bunnies. And flew home and shot this movie with Marilyn Olsen, which is unbelievable. It's crazy times. So yeah, I can honestly say I've been to the Playboy Mansion. I partied with David Lee Roth in Tahiti. I've had my own radio show. I've done commercials, television. I've done infomercials, not infomercials, but industrial type films. And now I've been playing concerts. Now I'm just like, making sandwiches, and I like to feed people. But I also like to make them, yeah.
Does that hurt?
That looks like her. That looks just
Miss September 1979.
Yeah. Wow. There was a lot of them running around there. But it was just unbelievable. My friends were kind of jealous of me and shit.
Before I forget, Ray's in chat and says hi.
Hey, what's up, Ray? Love you, brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ray's awesome. They'll be here next week.
Oh, kick ass. I'll be sure to tune in. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. Hopefully everybody's coming. I don't know. He didn't say one way or the other, but whoever comes is fine.
Yeah, they're great guys.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
It's always a pleasure when I know that they're on the bill, or Empire Desire, or Sectus, or, well, I get to play with almost all of them Saturday.
Right?
Yeah, so, that'll be fun.
This has been amazing, and I think the only thing that I've noticed is some of the sectioning of the scene. This group over here, that group over there. Other than that, it's amazing. The everybody helping everybody out. I'm at a show at the Marquee, and I look up, and I know the name of the band playing, but the guy that's playing drums is playing his drum set, and he's from a different band. The other band's name on the drum head.
Well, they'll put a T-shirt over it or something.
No, I took a picture of it and sent it to his boss. I said, "This is what I love about this scene."
Yeah. Well, for the big shows, like a lot of these, all day stompers, we get 20, 30 bands. It's best just to have one big backline.
Yeah.
And just if you want to bring your own cymbals or own snare drum or maybe your own guitar head, that's fine.
Right.
I think the future is going to be this type of thing, especially with the new gear coming out that's so small and lightweight and so powerful. And even the amps that, the stomp, the pedal amps, and I think that's going to be the future. You're not going to be hauling a lot of Ampeg 810 cabinets.
Right.
You're just going to have your little stomp and run direct and listen to it through the monitor. Basically, I think that's what the future is going to be. But I've played a few of those shows where they just have the back line set up, and then you get bands on and off really quick like that.
Well, like that Marshall wall there behind on the flyer for the interview.
Yeah. All hollow except for one.
Except for one.
That was so true.
Oh man, I tell you, it's been a lot of fun watching you play and hanging out with you. It's been a pleasure and an honor getting to meet you and know you and learn about you.
Same for you, brother. I appreciate it. You came up to me and said, "You got a picture of you or something?" And I was like, "I can put you on my Yeti board." And I said, "Sure."
Yeah.
That was in Tempe at Time Out Lounge, I think it was.
Yes. Yeah. Was that there or there the Blues or the 44 or Gypsies? Because I think I've seen you in all those places.
Yes. Yep. It's a one-man traveling band.
Absolutely.
But yeah, someday I will have it together, and then once we get back on track, I plan on going back to the studio. I've had plans for a while now, And every time something comes up, it just shoots us down. But with a little bit of luck and a little perseverance, we will survive and we will continue.
Absolutely.
Continue.
Well, would you like to close out the interview with an acoustic song for us?
Oh, I could, sure. I got a little something.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Yeti and Mr. Gordon Circle himself right here for a live interview, YetiRadio.com, live on YouTube and on the Live 365 app where the Yeti Radio is streaming 24/7. So come check out all the local Arizona music right here. Mr. Gordon Circle, ladies and gentlemen.
This one's called The Caretaker. Well, it broke my heart. Trouble started. Roxy music on a warm summer day, yeah. Torn apart, we never reunited, no. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm young, hell, I'm growing old. Rewind the bows and let the girls get sold. They tell you one thing, but do the next. Like a man in a blue purple van. But they rock me, rocking me out on the stage tonight. So come around here and I may play for you tonight. So I packed it up and I hit the highway. I made my way across the Great Divide. I turned around, but I guess she wasn't coming, no. And that hurt me deep inside. Well, I was young, but now I'm growing old. Rewind the girls and let the boys get sold. They tell you one thing, do the next. Like a man in a blue purple vest. They rock me, yeah, they rock me, rocking me out on the stage tonight. So come around here and I may play for you, but it's crazy when you're crazy. I'm crazy for your love tonight. Come around here and I will play for you. With a passport number and a room for two. Whoa, whoa, this one is for the caretaker. Makes me wonder, babe, who's taking care of you tonight? For your love tonight. So come around here, I may play for you tonight. I may play for you tonight. You see, I'm the caretaker.
Mr. Gordon Circle, everybody. Thank
Hey,
you.
thank you, Mr. Yeti. You're the best,
Yeah,
man.
you played for us tonight. That's awesome.
I sure will, man.
Thank you very much. That's,
Don't forget to come out to Amfest this Saturday. I go on stage at noon. It's a free show. It's an all-day event. There's no excuses. I want to see everybody there. Thank you so much, sir.
No,
A
thank
pleasure.
you. Thank you, everybody, for and George showed up and said, "Go, Gordon!"
Love you guys. Mwah.
All right, thanks everybody for joining the Yeti tonight, and we'll catch you later. Don't forget to check out Amfest this Saturday over at the 44 Sports Grill and Nightlife over on 44th and Peoria. Tell them the Yeti sent you. I don't know if they'll believe you or not, but they might.
Can you dig it?
The Yeti.
Can you dig it?
Yeti.
Can you dig it?
Yeti. The Phoenix music scene. The only thing hotter is the music that comes out of it. On the YetiRadio.com. Oh, yeah.
This is beautiful.